What's happening, gamers? Welcome to part one of my super duper Star Wars series, where I talk about all the Star Wars ever made of all time, starting with the Phantom Menace, number one, and we're gonna go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Because you know me, as a guy, I like myself a good Star War every once in a while. I mean, who doesn't? Tell it, you know, tell it like it is. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about each Star War, and then I'm gonna make a list of where I believe that they lie in my own personal view. I got this one at Savers for like $3. You can always walk into a Savers and find any lightsaber. As you can see, I got C-3PO right here. He's ready to review some Star Wars. Let's go! Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, the movie that didn't quite start at all like A New Hope did. It follows the Kubler-Ross model of grief. In 1999, coming out of the theater, everyone was like, yeah, that was a pretty good movie, in the denial stage. But then you saw it again, and you realize how it really is. And you get angry. George, how could you do this? And then the bargaining comes in, and the depression. You just saw a bad Star Wars movie, and you must learn to accept that. The next one will be better, right, guys? Oh, no. It begins with a title crawl talking of trade negotiations and political mumbo-jumbo. A slow first 5 minutes with horribly racist accents turns into a pretty good action sequence, with our newly introduced character, Qui-Gon Jinn. And I have to say, Liam Neeson's excellent in this film. He does a fantastic job of portraying not only a wise Jedi, but a Jedi who's not afraid to bend the rules with the Force, such as when he tries a mind trick on Watto later in the film. And then, of course, the negotiations were short, and we end up on Naboo, where we meet this guy, everybody's favorite guy in the world, Jar Jar Binks. You know, as I get older, Jar Jar just gets more and more obnoxious. I don't want to burn to the stake in the town square like most people, but upon my most recent viewing, I really just said to myself, I just wish he would just shut up. He's so annoying. The movie was made for a much younger audience, and it's incredibly apparent. At least some parts of the film are. I don't expect a 3-year-old to comprehend trade disputes between the Republic. I sure as hell didn't. Now, this was my favorite Star Wars movie as a bitch-ass kid. Anyways, then we go underwater and
there's always a bigger fish.
And we meet the doppelganger, Switch and Queen Amidala. And like, at first it's subtle, but then it's just kind of obvious. I'm curious as to how people viewed this twist back in 1999, if anyone noticed or cared about Kira and Natalie switching places, and whatever happened to her after this movie. You know, I want a Kira Knightley standalone Star Wars story for Disney+. But it's as soon as we hit Tatooine that the first half really gets rather boring and slow. I get that it's setting up this little slave boy, but after an already not interesting beginning, this doesn't really help the film much. And so, here's Anakin Skywalker, little boy running around. Here he is. He's fine. I like it. Jake Lloyd did his best as a little boy in the Star Wars universe, but I mean, he had some great quotes, you know. Now, this is pod racing. Yippee! I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. The mistake of this part of the film was having Obi-Wan stay with the ship. Obi-Wan's an interesting character, and he's the only one out of this entire group that we actually know who he is until we meet C-3PO. This wise Jedi Master we knew in A New Hope being just a Padawan it's interesting. I wish we could have seen more. And Obi-Wan and Anakin have little connection in this movie because they didn't get to meet right away. And so when Qui-Gon tells Obi-Wan to train him at the end, it's very drastic. It's like, here you go, take this kid, train him. All right, cool. I'm going to die now. Another point is just that, wow, this movie's really ugly. Watching this in 4K on a 50-inch TV highlights just how awful this movie's CGI holds up nowadays. Especially with Jar Jar. He looks awful, and he's one of the main characters of the film. The pod racing section's very good. It's exhilarating and fun and something different. Something we haven't seen before, and I like it. And the N64 game that came with it, as well as the arcade game. If you haven't played it, it's really quite good. And then we get to the midi-chlorians and Shmi being the Virgin Mary of Star Wars. It's odd. There's deeper lore here with like Palpatine like messing with Shmi's womb and manipulating the midi-chlorians and all that stuff, but maybe that's why Anakin turned out so poorly, you know? He never knew his father. As for the midi-chlorians, I'm not here to debate general biology of the Jedi, okay? But looking at the saga as a whole, like all 9 movies, the Force is different in every goddamn trilogy. But I'll get to that way, way later. I'm going to hold off on talking about overarching stuff. The movie picks up right after the Darth Maul attack, and they leave... What? What did I write here? So then Qui-Gon tells Anakin he's going to be a Jedi, and then they go back to the ship, and they get all the parts for the winning of the pod race and all that stuff, and then Darth Maul comes down, and it's like, oh god, it's a Sith Lord, and oh, what? And then they just fight him, and they kill him, and he dies, but not really, he's still alive, actually, he just runs away. And then this is where the film really starts to shine. I enjoy the second half a whole lot. The first half was slow and boring, but here's where the action is well made and shot. I love the choreography between the 2 Jedi and Maul, and the red laser walls that halt the action of the battle, and the emotion conveyed without dialogue and solely through the actors. But if Obi-Wan wanted to catch up so bad, why didn't he use his super speed he used at the beginning of the movie? It's a big-ass plot hole right there. I mean, the start of your movie introduces this helpful force power, but for the sake of this, Obi-Wan just forgets it, and he decides to jog over to Qui-Gon instead, you know. And, of course, we can't talk about this battle without Duel of the Fates. Johnny, my boy, you've done so well with this one. Mwah, mwah. And finally, Qui-Gon's killed, and Darth Maul is killed until the Clone Wars and Rebels, I guess, if you're into that kind of stuff. And the battle is won. Everybody's happy. There's real emotion in this brief exchange between Padawan and Master, but I do wish it was more heartfelt. This was your Padawan for years, and all you tell him is that you train this new boy, or else. I know they have a similar exchange earlier, but I think it would have worked better here. Boss Nass holds up this crystal ball thing, and everybody's happy. Yippee! So, The Phantom Menace. Is it the worst movie of all time? No, I don't think so. There's some very good Star Wars moments in here, probably the most iconic being the Darth Maul battle, which is illuminated by John Williams' brilliant score and perfect choreography. The acting can be a bit bland, and the dialogue poorly written and incredibly annoying in places. The childish parts of the movie don't blend well with the other themes and plot points, and so you can't quite consider it a children baby movie either. And so, The Phantom Menace is currently my second least favorite Star Wars movie of the Skywalker Saga.